Commissioner Edward Isom, followed by the pledge of allegiance from our city manager, Manager Little. All rise.
All right, bow your heads. Jesus, Lord, bless this meeting that we can move the city forward, continue to bless the residents on all the infrastructure work and all the lead lines replacement, that we can do the best we can for the betterment of the people of this city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I yield to the city clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Present.
Commissioner Henderson,
Present.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Present.
Commissioner Kennard,
Present.
Commissioner Singleton,
Present.
Commissioner Warren,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats, Mayor Mohammed.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Madam Clerk, may the record reflect that the newly appointed Berrien County Prosecutor, Prosecutor Byrd, is present in the audience. Thank you. Is there a motion for the approval of minutes? Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson. Is there support?
Support.
It is supported by Commissioner Isom. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to approval of accounts payable listing. Is there a motion for the approval? Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson. Is there support?
Support.
It is supported by Commissioner Singleton. Is there discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to public participation or citizens' comments. There is a 3-minute maximum per speaker. Please sign in with the city clerk and she will call you accordingly. And this meeting is being viewed on YouTube. So if you could please speak to the microphone.
Sherry Shalagi.
City clerk will call you as.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My name is Sherry Shalagi. I reside at 291 Hastings Avenue. So I am here today to inform the commission and community that Michigan Ordinance Number 050624-03, an ordinance to amend Chapter 6 alcoholic liquors to permit the creation of social districts and commons area, and the regulation thereof was submitted into evidence at the Recall Clarity hearing June 4th, 2024. Said ordinance is certified as follows. The foregoing is a true and complete copy of an ordinance adopted by the City Commission of the City of Benton Harbor at a regular meeting held on May 6, 2024. Public notice was given and the meeting was conducted in full compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Minutes of the meeting will be available as required by the act, and the ordinance was duly recorded, posted, and authenticated by the mayor and city clerk as required by the charter of said city. A detailed breakdown of the language in said ordinance is recorded in the approved minutes of said Recall Clarity hearing. I testify here today that the language in said certified duly recorded and allegedly posted ordinance is not the language the commission voted on May 6, 2024, as evidenced by our approved minutes. Additionally, in spite of a FOIA request, I have been informed by our city clerk that the amended ordinance approved by the city commission on May 6, 2024 does not exist and is not in effect until publication. I would like to remind the commission of the needs and expectations as they relate to the public services in our city that I fund with my tax contributions. We need lowered tax rates. We need an end to the shutoffs on the most needy families in our community. We pay the highest rates around. I would like to applaud Juanita Henry, our commissioner, who voted for the people and who voted against that hike in our water rates back in 2019. The only one who is here today who voted no. And I realize we have some commissioners here who are not serving at that time. We need safe, lead-free water. I tested the water of a resident a couple weeks back, and we have lead in the water. Our residents are still struggling to get all of that infrastructure replaced so that they can have safe, lead-free water. I would be advocating at the White House, if I were invited, for lead-free water for our community because the work is not done. And we need a system that is lead-free. There are systems of treatment where we can be lead-free. Thank you so much.
Charles Washington.
Hi, everybody. First, give an honor to the governor's body.
Please speak into the microphone.
I have a matter of concern. I'm a small business person, and I'm contracted with the city of Bentonville for lawn care. My company is Determined Lawn Care LLC, and my questions are, been out on for a while, and we haven't received anything as far as invoices that have been submitted. It's been about 4 weeks for the parks, which would be equivalent to close to 2 months. And 3 trips on the lots, which would be equivalent to 6 weeks, which is 3 invoices, because the weeks for the lots started shorter than for the park. I too, got out-of-pocket expenses, and that's a long time, being burdened with the responsibilities of, rent, light, gas, water. I mean, general liability is 148, lawnmower payments 250, 77, workers' comp, regular. So it's, it's been whooping them mule. Good. I just like to have some kind of idea and we take some money. And being a small town, rumor has it that we as lawn care, for the city, we talk, and rumor has it that one contractor may have been given an advance. Now, small city people talk, but I don't know that rumor has it. I don't know. And with that, I just like to know when. Anytime soon. With that,
Thank you, sir. Please contact the city manager's office He'll provide you with a payment name. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Amy Byrd.
Good evening. Okay, I'm gonna stand. I'm used to standing in front of people who are behind a bench. My name is Amy Byrd. I am the newly appointed prosecuting attorney for Berrien County. I'm also running in the November election. I wanted to introduce myself to all of you. I'm from Berrien County. I grew up in Benton Township on a farm off of Napier. I live there today, still with my family. I've been with the prosecutor's office now going on 16 years. In that time, I've had the pleasure of working with local law enforcement, Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety especially, in reviewing warrants, reviewing claims, taking cases before the court, taking them to trial, also doing appellate work. I've worked at both courthouses in St. Joe and in Niles, and I've had the privilege of dealing with every division that our office handles, which also includes representing DHHS. As fellow public servants, I'm sure you know that we are not in it for ourselves. There is a greater good there that we're all working for. My greater good is my two children. I have an 11-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. My hope is that every decision I make at my job is going to help them lead a better, safer life, help our community be better and safer and stronger. I want my children to be proud of where they come from, and I want them to have all the opportunities that strong and safe communities can afford them. I want that for all residents. Those are my guiding principles, to not only seek justice, but to ensure that I'm leaving behind something better than what I inherited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry
Just for the
Edwards.
record, do want Mr. Washington, your check was approved tonight. Yes, sir. Well, it was voted on.
Jerry Edwards.
I guess I can stand. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and all the commissioners and the city staff. This will be more of a informative 3 minutes. I know most of you, or some of you know, and a lot of people don't. So this is more of an informative thing. 2015, I met a lady named Annie Smith, and I met her at Fresh Garden, Children's Fresh Garden. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the title. This was in 2015, but I was doing something at Hall Park, and someone said that she wanted to meet me at Monsieur Meadows at Hall. So, 2016, she came to Benton Harbor. We had made an appointment to see if BU wanted to be one of YouthWorks' community partners. And I signed the agreement with YouthWorks. And upon doing that, I also, and a lot of you know, that at the same time, that same year is when I also signed the agreement with a lady named Jenny Cunningham. And she was out of the Regent's HR below. And I signed agreement with them, and I signed agreement with YouthWorks on the conditions within their policies and their guidelines that YouthWorks would send me a crew every week, starting whenever they get here. Most of the time it's the first week in June, all the way till they leave. But most of the time it's like the first Friday in August or whatever. But within that agreement, it was to give me a group every week, and that group was under the guidance as far as what project that I give them. And that was under BU's condition. BU was the organization that started that relationship. Lowe's, at the same time, we started a relationship, and that's how we got involved, because they are the ones who put up the orange and black pictures. The YouthWorks children are the ones that put the stage in Hall Park, and they put it there because we had children down there one day, And before we had the stages just sitting there, because we wanted to try and, Commissioner Singleton at that time got me bring some down there. But when we got ready to take them down, there were some kids who started crying because we was taking them away. And we decided to put them down, Youth Works put them down. So I want to say this last part, Mayor, if I may. So for people who don't know and you make accusations that you don't know where it started, that's where it started. So if you see me doing kids anywhere, I have their permission. Signed agreement since 2016. Thank you very much.
Vera Singleton.
My name is Vera Singleton. I live at 1135 Agar. My concern is the cemetery. When you go out there, it's not marked clearly. Who's responsible for that? Is that the city or the Crystal Springs? Like he told me to go to section E. There's no marking showing where section E is. And you're kind of like wandering around out there like Ray Charles because you can't find what you're looking for. So how can we get that corrected so that it's marked more clearly so you can find your family members when you go out there? That's the concern that I have. I don't know who is responsible for it, but if it could get corrected, showing visible signs where section E is, section D, that's all I'm asking. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Robert Walker.
Hello, everyone.
No.
I'm back 2 weeks later with the same problem. Give me an answer. Give me an answer why him or him haven't got back with me to discuss the hometown touring being taken off the list. And I was here when commissioners went directly to the city manager and told him to set up a meeting. 2 weeks later, I still don't have a meeting. Ain't nobody that busy. My question is part of your job. I want to answer. Because when it boils down to it, I can go out and kill someone. No one has the right to take hometown touring off the list because it's an LLC company. That means it's its own entity. It has nothing to do with Robert Walker as a person. So somebody give me the answer. Everybody's quiet. Give me an answer. I just want to answer. Somebody give me an answer. Because this is how I eat. This is how I feed my children. This is how me and my wife get along. Because when I ain't doing right, we beefing. So somebody give me an answer.
Mr. Walker, this falls under administrative. This is a legislative body where we operate and our powers is based upon resolution and ordinance. So you are correct that you would need to speak with the city manager as well as the director of public safety. You would need to set up a meeting with that office.
And I've been to both of their offices several times, and they keep giving me the same runaround. Keep saying the same. Don't get in here and tell me, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna set up a meeting, because that's what I'm getting sick of. What we're gonna start doing is changing people's jobs. They're not doing their jobs because at the end of the day, the people hold the power. So once we start changing these seats, we're gonna start getting the answer, because I'm not the only one that's been in here asking for answers that we never get. So once we start changing seats up in here and changing jobs and titles, we'll start getting those answers appropriately, because they're gonna realize, oh, if we don't get him the house, he's gonna make a big thing out of it, and he's gonna get replaced. Because that's what's gonna about to happen. And I'm very well known in this city by everyone. I'm asking y'all to give me a direct answer. Matter of fact, I want it in writing. Why did you take my tow company off of the list? Do that, and I won't come back in here. as a body, I'm bringing it to the body. The body is in control of the head and the legs. Still no answer.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'm going to suspend the rules and have them give an answer right now.
I support.
Public safety director's here. Let's call the roll.
Support that. Write it down when you get done. It's recorded.
There's no need for a vote because it's not a legislative, this is an administrative, but I will yield to the city manager to address this issue.
I've not had an opportunity to complete a review of it, but, Safety Director, would you give an explanation?
Absolutely. So the first thing is, we select who goes on our toll list. There's no compulsion or obligation to put you on the list, although we did before. Now, if we're gonna have it out there, we'll have it out there. We have an open investigation. As you know, a search warrant was done at your place to get a shooter's vehicle from the location. You can't tow for us during the course of an open investigation. Is that or is that not true?
Is it against hometown towing?
Was it at hometown towing? The suspect vehicle, a search warrant at some hometown towing? Yes or no?
In the parking lot?
He knows.
Hold on, I don't.
No.
So hold on, point of order. Point of order.
Bring the wrong person.
Point of order.
I'm not talking about, bring white boy Robbie.
Point of order. Point of order. So, point of order.
Listen to this.
So, no. The police chief just provided an answer. It can be given in writing as requested.
That's all I want.
But this is not the venue, this is not the venue really for a back and forth. This is citizens' comments. So this is a time where the public has 3 minutes to come and express whatever they like.
Well, y'all
So
got-
it's not a Q&A.
Well, y'all got the prosecutor in tell, y'all better get y'all stuff together because Hometown 20 is an LLC company. It has nothing to do with me personally or none of my children. This stuff is about something my children supposedly had done. It has nothing to do with Robert Walker or Hometown Towing, which is a separate entity because it's an LLC company.
But as I
Make
stated,
that make sense?
Mr. Walker, and as I said, this is
So
not the
basically, I
venue.
get an answer.
He just gave an answer, but you'll receive an answer in writing, but this is a legislative. That's an administrative execution from the Department of Public Safety.
Okay, why they want me to meet you?
Thank you for your time.
See, you don't answer that either.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Walker.
So everybody in here, y'all know what we gotta start doing.
Yeah.
Everybody in here know what we gotta start doing. We gotta start taking power back to the people. If they don't wanna do what's right, get them out of here. Every last one of them, they don't wanna do what they gotta do, get them up out of here. Do what's right or move on.
J.R. Mamina.
Actually, I'm here for the honorary street name, and I don't need to make no comments.
Commissioner Pitchford.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Mayor, Honorable Commission. I wanted to come and just give a bit of an update. 1891 Union Avenue, apartment 3A in Benton Charter Township. My organization, Burying Forward, just put out a job application today that I wanted to come and announce. We're hiring community resource navigators, one for the city of Benton Harbor and across Berrien County. These are different positions than what you're used to seeing from political organizations. Their number one job is not to garner votes, it's to garner trust. So what they'll be doing is going around connecting individuals with resources, whether it's light shutoffs, helping them connect with housing, helping, get connected with childcare. That's the first job. The second job is then to become that trusted partner that when someone sees them in the community, they know, yes, this person's political, they can answer all of my questions about when the election is, where's the polling location, how do I do early voting? But then at the end of the day, helping support the candidates that we have endorsed. And one of the things that I want to say specifically to this body is this organization is housed in the city of Benton Harbor. Right over there in the Benson building is where we are on the first floor. We are the largest political 501c4 in Southwest Michigan in the city of Benton Harbor, doing programming and policy all across Berrien County. And we just did our endorsement list. This is the only organization also in Berrien County that endorsed 22% Republicans and 78% Democrats for office, meaning that this organization is looking at the right person at the right time for the right position that they're running for without factoring in our personal politics. If you're doing a good job, you're going to get the endorsement, and we're going to put our weight and effort behind you. The last thing I wanted to touch on is just some of the programming. So we're going to be having a press conference in the next couple of weeks to announce this programming. TV advertisements, digital advertisements, direct mail, door knocking. We're going all across the county this year because we know this is one of the most important elections, probably in the history of the country. And we think our bipartisan record of endorsing Democrats and Republicans will make the candidates that we have endorsed allow voters to look at them and say, you know what? They might be picking the right person for this job rather than just a political choice. And we're focusing solely county and down. We're not playing too much in the federal and national politics because I think everybody's tired of it. I think everybody wants to see a more renewed focus in local government because, as you know, local government is where the decisions are made. That's where the wheel is greased. And if we have more partners all across this county, I think Benton Harbor, as it's going, will continue to go in the right direction. So thank you.
No more comments.
I'd like to thank everyone for participating in the citizens' comments or public participation. This brings us to our consent calendar items. Is there a motion for the approval of the consent calendar? Or are there items that should be separated? Motion is made to Madam Commissioner Henry.
Number 3, I would like to see, in review, that's it.
Is there a motion for the approval of the consent calendar?
So move.
Motion is made by Commissioner Singleton. It is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem States,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to the separated item, approval of Third Coast Surf Shop Agreement. Is there a motion for the approval? Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson. Is there support? It is supported by Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
I just wanted to put this one out in public so the public would know, because it didn't really get a lot of conversation in committee. It was given to us at the last minute, and I got a chance to read it. And there's a history to this a small business here in Benton Harbor. So it's been around for a while, and I see some great improvements for the citizens of Benton Harbor. One of them is that they are going to give more rent. They've been here since I think 2016, and they were paying very little money for using our Gene Clark Park. But I believe that the new rent arrangement is good. They also are giving Benton Harbor residents a discount on the kayaks, the paddleboards, and other things. So if we didn't talk about it in this meeting, we probably wouldn't have known that, because of the document was, like I said, given to us in a short period. One problem I have is that the Gene Clark Park's consent judgment doesn't allow the city to put up permanent signs. Anyone can put in permanent signs in Gene Clark Park. So, it says in the agreement that it's okay for this company to do it, but the consent judgment says it's not okay. They've already, added some signs over the years, which is illegal, and I want the staff to, look at that and stop it from happening. We're already being rebranded by Harbor Shores, everything's got Harbor Shores, Michigan on it, and very little bit Harbor stuff, so this is something that's already in law. The consent judgment says don't do it, and I'm holding the staff to make sure that it doesn't happen. I went out to the beach today and, looked at the business. They've occupied some public land. I think that's a little bit more than they asked for. They went out on the beach and set up their little, all of their equipment, and that didn't happen last year. And I say it's public land, it's some land that some family should be able to come to and use, so they should come back up to the place that they're renting from us and use that as their storage, and any advertising should be legal. That's where I'm coming from on that.
Thank you, Commissioner Henry. I just want to get this right. So when you say permanent sign, like say in this case, the business, if they have something to direct persons who will be actively trying to patronize the business, it offends the lease agreement for them to have Joe's elephant ears this way, or
If it's permanent, it's against the court order.
what if it's just the life of the contract?
It has to be something that they can put down and they must take it up. We've been in a battle to keep Gene Clark Park from being overrun. This is why these consent judgments in there, because we were in a battle to keep them from taking it the way they were taking it. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that the consent judgment was wrong. I'm gonna say, let us do the right thing.
Right, no, I'm not saying debating the consent judgment, that's a court order, but I'm saying in terms of permanent, if the business has a 2-year agreement with the city, and during that term, they have their signs up to promote the business, and say when the contract is over, the signs leave. That wouldn't offend the, we'll let the attorney weigh in on that.
Yeah, because the judge said that, I did.
So we can get a copy of the consent judgment and work with this company to make sure that their signs are in compliance with the court judgment. I don't think that should be any problem. I know a lot of businesses have, like, I call it a sandwich sign, where they fold it and they move it if they're not in the same exact location every single day. So we'll make sure that whatever signage they have is in compliance with that judgment.
Look at Gene Clark and Grand Boulevard, you'll see permanent sign.
Thank you. Call for the question.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes,
Motion carried.
this brings us to staff communication. I'd like to recognize the Director of Public Safety, Chief Damikins.
Good evening, all commissioners and citizens. Good to see everyone here tonight. It's a good crowd. A couple things I just want to remind people of. When I was in the paper, we did talk about public safety, about the issue with stolen vehicles, both stolen and recovered. So there are a few things we would like to see residents kind of help us with. So for example, on the south side, there's between kind of Superior to Bishop, 11 to 100 block is where we're finding a lot of them. So if you see something, say something, especially if you see a young kid like about 13 or 14 years old, or you're not comfortable, you driving age, there's a good chance could be something wrong, okay? Call 911. We would rather get the calls and we kind of sort through them, because somebody sees it like, huh, there's another car. Huh, oh, there's a little goofy again. Because we had, again, 27.71% rise. One thing I will say is, and I don't know, I'll put you on the spot, prosecutor. We have, so last year when we saw the dip, we were able to get some of those juveniles finally after several occasions, getting them through the system, but they get back out, or it's hard to get juveniles hard to deal with. I can't really speak to that. It's a whole animal to itself. But I think the reason we see kind of the incline is because they're out from 2023. But it's terrible when people are having their cars either burglarized or stolen. The other thing is we're getting cars broken into, and I suspect there's possibly two, but I think primarily they're checking the cars. If they see something in it, they'll break into it. So they're checking doors. One of the things we talked about Wednesday is if you can protect yourself, you have to understand that your car, the modern cars, are generally constantly in contact with your car. I guarantee you, almost everybody in here can hit their key fob, turn their car on, and hit their lights on. But there are certain cars that guys or people are going around intercepting those signals because your car is communicating, intercepting out the air, throwing your key fob, and then stealing cars like Chargers, those type of high-end cars. The Hyundais and the Kias still have issues. I think they've had some fix for some of the modern ones, but be mindful of that. This might sound crazy, but when you get home, get your key fob. For me, I'll give you another example, and Mayor, please bear with me. It's very important. We are really having a problem. We don't like how these cars are being stolen. We're getting even recovered cars from Benton Township and other parts of the area, the county. But in my home, I put my key fob in the same spot. It's at the top of my house, in front of the house where it's a perfect signal. So think about maybe moving it somewhere, take your key fob and wrap it in aluminum foil. You can see those jokes about people with aluminum foil hats. There's actually some truth to that. It'll block the signal, especially if you have a Dodge Charger or a Corvette, Camaro. Those are some high-item cars. But just be mindful of that. Please, I know a lot of our people, for whatever reason, will keep their social security card and their birth certificate inside the car. There's no reason for that. Please don't do that, because that opens up the door to a whole other set of problems. Now we have fraudulent files, credit cards in your name. Just be mindful of that. Worst case scenario, just don't have anything in your car. So you have an older Kia that you don't want to pay for a broken window. Let that sucker and leave doors open if you don't have cameras or whatever. But please, if you see something suspicious, if it doesn't seem right in your spirit, it probably is not. So be mindful of that. Call us, let us know, let us come out, and let us get the judge up if that was good information or not. But we absolutely are committed to protecting the citizens of Benton Harbor, the vehicles being stolen. Second thing, very quickly, with schools out, we have tremendous parks. We got a ton of kids out there, as y'all know. Our parks, you're not supposed to park in Union and Broadway. If you happen to live in those areas, you see cars kind of transcend over the barriers, let us know, because the last thing we want to have is a kid hit by a car that's simply trying to play. I know I let Union Park every single day, all day, all summer. When I was little, we want to make sure we're protecting our own, and we only do it together. I apologize for the length of this, Mayor, Commissioners, but these things are important, especially vehicles. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Chair recognizes our city attorney, Attorney Seneca.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I do not have a report tonight.
Thank you. Chair recognizes our city clerk.
Thank
Clerk
you.
Moore.
So I'd like to introduce everybody to my deputy clerk, Gabby.
Hello.
This is her second Monday. So she did attend the committee meetings last week. And we are getting ready for election season. August 6th is the state primary election. AV ballots will be available starting next Thursday, June 27th. So you will start seeing election materials in the next few months, for the next few months.
And for the record, Madam Clerk, could you state Gabby's government name?
Gabrielle Bell, with an R.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Fourth Ward Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. And I want to thank everybody that played a part in the Juneteenth. It was a great success once again for the 7 years straight. Thanking the volunteers, the vendors, the sponsors, the community for coming out. Just anybody, I hope I didn't miss anybody. And of course, our Juneteenth committee too. So I like that we had a great time, great turnout, but we had some pushback, and it's a shame when our own acting city manager / planning and economic director took discriminatory actions and disparaging treatments toward the Juneteenth. He put unnecessary fees and requests toward our vendor, including city fees and liability insurance, when we already paid for liability insurance. I filed a grievance. I only got a response from one of my colleagues. And I'm asking that the unnecessary fees be refunded back to the Juneteenth, because we paid because we didn't want to put a burden on the vendors, which was like only came about 3 or 4 days before the Juneteenth. And to my understanding, I thought it was public safety that deals with the ordinance, not the acting city manager. You know, despite of the pushbacks we got from the city, the state, and everybody else, we had to reroute. It was just so many hurdles. It was one thing after another. And it's a shame when we do this free for the community. We don't sell tickets. It's most of our money just for the community to have a great time and enjoy themselves, celebrate. So it's a shame when you have to deal even at the local level, all the things that we dealt with. So I am requesting today, like I said, only one of my colleagues responded to the grievance I put in, but I am requesting today that those fees are necessary. We have other big events in the community that I know that vendors did not have to pay that, and talk about liability insurance. We pay almost $600 liability insurance ourselves. So it was already insurance. Why would the vendors need to pay that? So that's what I requested. And I just like to thank everybody. And I'm going to address, I wasn't going to address this, but I'm going to address that recall on me and Ms. Eleanor Gavin. As you know, it was rejected. Both of them was rejected. It's not even registered to vote in my ward. If you don't vote for me, if you can't vote for me, you can't recall me or remove me. Not to mention, he's listed with 3 different addresses. So perjury faces up to 5 years in prison and comes with fines and probation. To God be the glory. Have a good night.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Third Ward Commissioner Henry.
Wow. I just got this notice today when I came in, and it's a very important notice about public hearing. It's going to be a public hearing concerning our budget. Now, this public hearing is going to be held June the 26th at 7 p.m. in this room. Please, if you're not able to come, watch it on YouTube. The budget has been in our point. We've been trying to make a point with this budget since last year, this time. And here we are at the last minute again, getting ready to approve another budget without any due diligence at all. So I'm asking the residents to be faithful when it comes to public notices and public hearings, because those are for you. And we can put it in the Herald Palladium in the back of the paper where nobody ever reads it, or we can do what we've been trying to do communication. And this is another reason why we need a newsletter that's being delivered directly to each and every household in Benton Harbor. Just because of things like this, public hearings that do not have one citizen come to. So mark that on your calendars, because the budget is what determines what happens to the residents, what happens to your children, what happens to your property. 7 p.m. on the 26th. So I could say a whole lot of other things, but that's more important to me to get that information out, to make sure that we do have a voice in how your money is being spent. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the second ward Commissioner Warren.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you everyone for coming out. The only updates I have for the second ward right now is we have a cleanup for this Saturday at 11 a.m. We're going to meet on the corner of Pipestone and Britain. We'll have garbage bags and gloves, and I will provide everyone with a couple of spots to hit so we can split up. We're just going to meet at Pipestone Park. Again, it's going to be on the corner of Pipestone and Britain at 11 a.m. this Saturday, second ward cleanup. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes first ward Commissioner Henderson.
I'd like to thank all of the residents that came out tonight and everyone who spoke tonight, good, bad, and different, whatever. Thank you for utilizing your voice and showing up tonight. Just wanted to remind everybody that it'll be hot this week, so the library is a place for people to cool down. The shelters does not put their residents out, so they're in any type of extreme weather, they're allowed to stay in, so they don't have to be outside in that weather. And just everybody stay cool. And just about the Juneteenth festival, it was absolutely beautiful again. I've had the privilege to be at every one that we've had, and it was absolutely beautiful. The weather was beautiful. It was beautiful seeing everybody that showed up. Food was delicious. Just a really, really class A type of event. So for everyone who put the event on, all the vendors who participated, thank you. It was really, really, truly wonderful this week, this past Saturday. So thank you all and have a great evening.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I thank everybody for coming out. Also want to echo what the chief said about the vehicles. In fact, my grandson's vehicle got stolen this weekend. He's got a Kia. He recovered it on his own. He had a little tracker or something, I guess they use with the telephones now, and he chased it down somewhere and found it. So that is important on trying to do things to keep your vehicle from getting stolen. Tonight we passed the resolution, the honorary Little Italy, everybody with that organization for coming out. Congratulations. And that's now known as Little Italy. Seen a lot of the businesses on there when I was a kid. Some of them I definitely recognized frequenting. Definitely the Mamina's burger. They try to imitate it, but they can't duplicate it. So we had a good time last week on another honorary street naming with our own Ernie Hudson. I thank everybody who worked on that project, especially the citizens. One in particular, Mr. Charles Green. He couldn't make it. He had some medical issues. I think the city clerk who worked hard on it, and all the commission. It was a good turnout. I think Mr. Hudson was, very pleased and emotional, to after all those years, coming back home and talking about how he came up, and it's an example that with a lot of hard work you can make it. What else? The public safety meeting we had this past Wednesday. It's every second Wednesday each month. They'll come out and learn and give suggestions, and voice concerns. As one commissioner always put it, just the meat and potatoes. I don't know if we serve it up all the time, but we try. The organization that Mr. Pritchford bearing forward, I did see the notifications for jobs. Hopefully, you're a little bit more successful than we are trying to find people to employ. That's great. And Madam Prosecutor, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. With that, everybody have a safe. This week's going to be hot. Check on your calendars. Again, I think what you said, Commissioner's Cooling Center at the library.
The library.
Okay. And hopefully some of the churches have a cooling place too. So but keep an eye on people that don't have the ability or the luxury to get an air conditioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Ice.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you for your comments. You have been heard. Thanks, Prosecutor Amy Byrd. Congratulations. Juneteenth parade was great. I was in there. You might have seen me with a hard hat walking through. We got big things coming. I'm going to tell you about that down the line here. The state police event honoring the first Black state police in Michigan. That was an honor just to be here to sit in that and listen to that. Some great stories. Personnel and finance information. Residents are paying their utility bills, which have been great. Over 350,000 have been collected in May. And that is huge. Until utility bills which have been paid for the first week of June are totaling 140,000. So collections are up. That's what we need there for our finances. The utility funds is really important for the city finances. Just like Commissioner Henry stressed, the Personnel and Finance Committee, the budget hearing, very important that we get the information out there. Coming down to the wire, so we want to make sure we get all the information we need. We can make the right decisions. The heat, I want to thank public safety for that water spray, the fire hose, and that was great. Can I get in there? 'Cause I'm old enough, and man, the dogs. But next time they have, like, it's Tuesday, tomorrow. Well, you got what, some bathing suits or something?
Yeah, and that's under the water too. You got a place to come.
Okay.
Doing a job.
That's good. It's hot out there. We need everybody to stay cool. That's a good thing for the children. Now, Wednesday, June 19th, Juneteenth. It's been four long years. Working on this project, MLK's Unified Civic Monument Project. Martin Luther King statues in Ben Harbor, one in St. Joseph. Unity. Bring this thing together. Finalists came together, raised over $850,000 for this project. Put in the work, put in the struggle. Some people probably don't want it. Some people do. Everybody got their own opinion. But it's here. It's going down. The groundbreaking will be 4:30 at the Pete Mitchell Park here. You're all welcome to attend. This is historical. So come on out. It might be a little hot, but it's real. It's real. It's happening in Ben Harbor. It's happening in St. Joe. Unity, bringing it together. Expect great things. God bless you. Expect great things, man.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Kennard.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. And thank all of you for coming out tonight. And to all of the fathers and those that have participated as fathers, may not be blood, but sometimes it's made an impact in young people's lives. Happy belated Father's Day to you all. And I want to say to all of you, pay attention. You all are our bosses. That young man that came in and spoke today and was so upset, he came at our last meeting and looking for answers. So we should look deeper into things when they come to us. So I know what he was saying about his LLC. That has nothing to do with something that his children done. So let's look into it a little deeper. It's up to us to do it because you all voted for us as a voice for you. You're our boss. We got to look deeper in to make sure that you get the justice that you should get. Too many times I said, oh, where you all are. And I was upset many times. Here we have a struggle sometimes with our finances here. We don't have a finance director. They told me that Plant Moran is the finance director. That's a finance institution. It's not a finance director. So let's get that straight and put those things in order. That way we can have an accountability of everything that comes in and goes out in our government, and it's documented. Too many things go wrong in your city when things is not put in place. Correct. And I know I stayed on some of your cases real hard, many years, and we should have those things in place. So if there's something comes up later about our finance, we got somebody that has the information that we need to have to make sure that everything works right for this little small city we got. That's not too hard. And when it comes into us looking for a city manager, we don't know who interviewed our our acting city manager. We don't know who interviewed him for the position that he got and moved him to where he is. But I tell you this, when we get ready to interview one of these others that has responded to the application, we want to be involved in it. He should not be involved because he wants to be the next city manager. So I don't think he should take place in reviewing anything about the others. That's a conflict of interest. So let us do the thing that's right. Thank you all for coming. And be sure to know where you stand. You're our boss. So you voted for us and you can recall us. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. We're trying to momentum in the city going on, and I'm proud to be a part of a city that's moving. One of the greatest things that I've seen in a while, the city of Ben Harbor's graduation, seeing men walking across the track. The black males, if you want me to say, who shouldn't, probably be in those positions because probably somebody would want to take them out of there. We have a problem with males. We have a problem with men. We have a problem with black men. It shows every day we're here. We talk about Juneteenth, and some of us are more racist towards black men than anybody. Yet we're talking about some kind of freedom or anything, and we fight each other more than we fight anything else. We skin and grin other people. If we, Charles probably heard how we smile so hard when we were at people. So, Ernie Hudson, the spirit out there was so magnificent. It was old, young, white, black, whatever nationality was out there. It was very informative, very historical. But people fought that too. You got people who fought that happening and saying that we should name streets after random people, and this young man came home after an illustrious career in representation of the city of Benton Harbor. Don't know why he left Benton Harbor. Gave people hope and just, it seems like to me people want to fight anything that's going on, right? I need to say this, I'm gonna say this loud and clear. We are a board that governs a few employees, right? People have sued the city of Benton Harbor for the same behavior that you're saying tonight that goes on and said this is a hostile work environment, and they call you cannot talk personnel issues with somebody personal unless they want to have a closed session. You have to give them a right to a closed session. So we have to stop some of this erratic behavior because we're going to get sued again, and we're going to all sit back and say, oh, it's your fault. They down there fighting. No, you have to do things right. If you don't know how to do it, then figure it out or find out or ask the attorney how to get it done. Because I don't want to see us sue again. A lot of our entities are being sued because of behavior. The park of Martin Luther King that's going up there, I have no problem with it. I'm grateful for it. I won't be out there. It's going to be too hot. But I will ask our very fine commissioner that we did vote just on the statute. We didn't vote on the park takeover. So, I mean, the flowers and the vultures and the rocks and everything else that people are putting down needs to come through committee or hit through parks. We did vote for them to put it down there, but it's not a park takeover because that's not happening over in St. Joe. And then furthermore, when things like that happen, people should be grateful to the commission and not just walk past us and don't speak to us like highway robbery or highway heist. So I will say I commend this body for the hard work. Downtown, uptown, Columbus, Pearl, Superior, all these streets are looking magnificent. The sidewalks are looking tremendously better. These parks are being worked on and improved for our children. And somebody said, well, nobody's doing something for the inner city. Well, I'll tell you, you can go to Dr. Flood's or RX Optical because you cannot see it. It is happening and our children are enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Seats. When I see Dr. Flood, I will let him know you gave me burgers. It's a lot of great things that's going on in Benton Harbor. The governor's outreach director made a comment at the Ernie Hudson street dedication. He said that he's heard people say that there's a lot of good people that come out of Benton Harbor. But he said that he wants to be on record saying that there's a lot of good people in Benton Harbor. And I second that. But Ernie Hudson, I was looking at the top movies in the 1980s, Ghostbusters rated number 29. His decorated career speaks for itself. He certainly was a trailblazer in the film industry, dating back to Penitentiary, for those that go back into the 70s. And then we had Captain Jack Hall, the first Black state trooper. And then we also learned that the second Black state trooper also was from Benton Harbor, Sergeant Coleman. Both of them laid the path and the foundation and broke the wall down, or the ceiling, so to speak, because we also had Colonel Sturtevant and the current colonel or director of the Michigan State Police, both Black men. But it started with a trooper from Benton Harbor. So they were both recognized. Then we had Chet Walker, who passed, who Hall of Famer. The Bulls was a losing organization, laughed at, mocked before he came and put on the Bulls uniform, won a NBA championship with Billy Cunningham, looked still, Hal Greer, some big names, and the 68 regular season record before the Bulls broke it with Michael Jordan was Chet Walker had a great part he played in that. Also was All-American at Bradley, NIT championship 1960. So there's greatness here and great things are currently being done. I'm so happy to hear the report about the collections. Our water department or water filtration plant is one of our greatest resources. And the #1 shareholder is the resident of Benton Harbor, the business community. So it's very important that we fund our own water plant. When I was at a conference in Arizona, and it was said, without water, we have no economy. So it's very important that we continue with our collections, the budget. I do agree with Commissioner Henry. It's big because this is when we inform the public of how we're going to spend your money, how we're going to be good stewards of the finances. I'll close with this point. You know, romance is a beautiful thing, but without finance, that's a dangerous recipe for disaster. So we want to make sure that we keep the finances, which keeps the relationships, and keeps the community moving forward. So with that being said, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. Motion is made by Mayor Pro Tem Seats. It is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats, Mayor Mohammed.
I do have one, the manager did not speak.
Take back my vote, Kelly Mathis. Rescind that.
I don't want to deprive the manager, so I beg your pardon. Mr. Manager, please. If there's no objections from the council.
I'll make it brief, Mayor. I understand some of the concerns and frustration that citizens sometimes bring, and I respect it. At the same time, I think it's important that you understand that the position that I'm in now, or to be more correct, positions, still require that all kinds of hands-on duties are taking place related to the CDBG program that is funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Right now, we're moving rapidly to get everything set up for the summer youth program to get going this year. Budget, and having to do things associated with getting ready to get this budget that you're talking about ready. We have weekly meetings with Eagle regarding the water plan. Heard some comments about the grass cutting thing. We struggle to hurry up and rewrite specifications, and that's not a team of folks doing that. I had to do it. And I had to put in whatever additional time it took to do it in order to get it out on time. We just had a PGA, the last one, on schedule, get completed. There were a lot of duties and things that we had to do related to that, people we had to meet with and so forth. Meetings, regular meetings with commissioners and with federal and state funding sources that demand that things be done and with various schedules. At the same time, we try to do all that we can to address citizens' concerns as best we can and as rapidly as we can. But believe me, there's no open schedule for people to just walk in and I'm available any time of day. Sometimes I'm working a couple of hours late in the evening just to try to catch up with today's emails. They sometimes are 10 pages long. So again, I will say in advance, I apologize, we can't do more, but we are going to do the best that we can and continue trying to do more. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carries.